just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It is the UFC 316 preview show. It's Ringside Report MMA. Let's do it.
Let's go!
Okay. Is the music still going? We still doing music? Yeah, I guess so. We're still doing music. Let's go. It's Ringside Report MMA. Are you ready? All right. I'm going to kill the music. I'll do it.
Merry Christmas, guys. Happy Hanukkah. I was listening and I'm like, did I just go back in time or am I like on the wrong show again?
We're partying, man. We're just having fun. It's a good time. I don't know. It's Christmas in June. It's Christmas in June.
Yeah,
I just got I was just unboxing my new Nintendo Switch 2 controller that I just got. Look at this thing. Ooh, new controller for my new Nintendo. Ooh, what are these buttons back here? Ooh, there's GR and GL buttons. What is that? New buttons. What the
Gaming
heck
Dave.
There's
Roy
buttons.
and Freddy.
There's buttons over here. See, there's a button. Back here. There's two little triggers back here. Wow. Ooh.
Video games.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about new Nintendo. The new Nintendo Switch came out today. Nintendo Switch 2 with the new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World. I was just playing before we did the show. I'd like to keep playing.
Surprised you didn't call in sick.
Yeah, right? I'm dedicated. It's a big weekend in MMA. We got to talk about the fights, Fred, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But we could do a short show so I can go back to Nintendo. I mean, the kids are going to be in bed and I can play a little Nintendo, you know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, look at that controller. Johnny's like, ooh, it looks good. Yeah, it does look good. The Switch Pro, nice. The Switch looks really nice. The new console, it's big and beautiful. I love it. We got MMA to talk about, right?
We do?
Jon Jones is, I think, retired. Are we still talking about Jon Jones? I feel like every week we're like, hey, Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And people, were like, oh, Jones is scared. And I'm like, are you crazy? Why would he be scared of anybody? He's Jon Jones. Yeah. Aspinall says he's got big news coming. I don't know what that means. I feel like it's not a Jon Jones fight. But nothing has happened.
Listen, man, he's out in Thailand partying. Did you see some of those videos?
Mm-hmm.
Including the video that I sent Freddie there? That was a bit creepy.
Which one?
You know what I'm talking about. Freddie knows what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure. Motorcycle one?
No, the one where he's asking in the old days if certain things are legal or not.
Oh, yeah.
That was what John McCarthy said.
Oh, but that was a story by John McCarthy. That's not a Jon Jones video. Did you watch the video, AJ?
I saw it.
Jon Jones, AJ sees videos and he doesn't quite understand them.
No, I understood it pretty clear. I'm on McCarthy's side, man.
Okay. Well, 3 days ago, Tom Aspinall wished Jon Jones a happy retirement. He says, want to be the first to wish Jon all the best in his retirement. Let's get this division going at UFC. So I feel like Aspinall's moving on.
Good for him, man.
Well, he has no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, also, don't waste your time, man. Look at what happened with Michael Chandler waiting for McGregor, man. You don't want to do that. You don't want to waste a year of your career. These are good. Jon Jones is the biggest money fight for him, but these are still good years for him, so be active.
I like that you had a more recent reference. I was going to say, don't be like Rashad Evans. Remember, he waited way too long, but that's kind of so long ago that people don't really remember. Dana White talking about the short window. And he was right. Rashad waited for a title shot. Then when the title shot finally came around, he got hurt. Jon Jones took the title shot, and Rashad eventually got a shot at Jon Jones, but it got messy with the gym, and it was a whole story back then. It was a big story back then. It was like the biggest story in MMA when Rashad left Greg Jackson's gym because Jon Jones was there, and they were training partners and friends, and then they were beefing, and But people forget about all this stuff, and that's kind of my point about Jon Jones. It's like he's been through so many big fights in his career, so many personal beefs. Rashad, Daniel Cormier, the Gustafsson fights. To say that he's scared of Tom Aspinall or he wouldn't, it's like, come on. He's done so much. I would have been scared of Lyoto Machida, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? Come on. So I don't think that fight's going to happen. I think Cyril Gane is going to happen. And, it's what I've been saying from the beginning. The whole time. I was like, fight's not going to happen. Jon's going to retire. Tom Aspinall should just fight Cyril Gane. And it looks like I'll be right about that. So, it's kind of a bummer. I think Jon Jones' last fight was probably against Stipe, unless he comes back in a couple of years. If Aspinall goes on a run here, if he beats Cyril Gane, if he beats another guy, a couple other guys, Jon Jones may come back in a year or two and decide that Tom Aspinall is worth it. There's that built-in rivalry. He can build himself as a legit challenge, as a name in the UFC. Tom Aspinall's built a bigger name off Jon Jones without even fighting Jon Jones.
Yeah, he's going to be 40 years old, Dave. Let's be honest. In a couple of years, he'll be 40. How old is Jon Jones right now? Right? He's 38. He's going to be 40.
Something like that. But it's heavyweight.
So I know.
And it's Jon Jones.
He's got to do it now.
I don't think so. He's 37. Okay. Tom Aspinall is 32. In 2 years, when Jon Jones is 39 and Tom Aspinall's 34 and has been through several tough fights and Jon Jones has been chilling, enjoying his money, I see no reason why Jon Jones couldn't come back and have a very competitive, big money fight against Tom Aspinall. 2 years, 2027.
You know what, man? I'm starting to think though maybe that Jon Jones is losing the fire. That might be like once you're contemplating retirement, once you're in retirement, I think there's a difference. So yeah, he could come back. I don't think it would be as easy as like if he wants to fight Aspinall, he should fight him right now while he's still active.
I agree with you, and I disagree with you. I think he has lost the fire in a way, in the sense that he doesn't have that much motivation to beat Tom Aspinall because he doesn't see Tom Aspinall as a big fight. But I disagree that he should take it now, because I think that if Tom Aspinall wins another fight, he's a bigger star. If he wins 2 more fights, he's bigger. The longer Jones waits and looks at it and maybe comments about Aspinall's fights when he has them, you know, Jones could tease it, say, oh, maybe I'll come back, maybe. And then eventually it's yes, when Aspinall's worth it. Jones was motivated to take a fight against Alex Pereira because Alex Pereira had built up a name and a following in the UFC and had beaten tough guys and had main evented pay-per-views and made money. So he was motivated for that fight, but it fell apart because Magomed Ankalaev beat Pereira. I just don't think he's motivated to fight Aspinall because, you know,
yeah, but that
he hasn't done enough.
Like, if he's not motivated, will he really be motivated in a year? Like, if right now in his head he thinks, like, Tom Aspinall is beneath me and all that, I don't know if he'll put in the work in a year and a half. So, yeah, like, he could always come back for the money. But as far as, like, wanting to win this fight, I think the longer he waits, his odds go down. I still think he would be the favorite, but I think, like, right now I would pick Jon Jones. But I'm telling you, man, the more I hear him talk about retirement, the more I'm wondering, hey, maybe Jon Jones is, you know, maybe he doesn't have that fire no more.
Do you think Jon Jones wants to win or expects to win at this point?
I think he expects to win.
Yeah.
I think he just expects it because, you know, why wouldn't he? He always does. I just feel like everything Jones has said, he doesn't feel like Aspinall's worth the effort. He doesn't feel like Aspinall's worth his time. And the vibe is kind of like, well, if he could do something, if he could beat some guys, if he could go on a run, you know, then maybe he'd be worth my time. Like, if Islam Makhachev was a heavyweight, Jon Jones would be fighting him because he's been here, he's done stuff, he's accomplished, you know? Aspinall's very good and very dangerous, but we know that, you know, his last fight was against Curtis Blades. He hasn't beat anybody, like, of big name recognition in the UFC. Now, it's tough to do because there's not really those guys at heavyweight, but, you know, if you could go on a run, like, Blades was his first title defense of the interim belt. Have Jones vacate the belt, make Aspinall the, you know, undisputed champion, have him fight Cyril Gane. If he could beat Cyril Gane, maybe he fights, you know, who's that big Brazilian dude? What's his name?
Teixeira, Talison, that guy?
Yeah, yeah. You know who I'm talking about? Maybe that guy works his way up. What's his name?
Okay, but here's my other argument.
Talison Teixeira, yeah, maybe him.
Here's my other argument, though.
Jailton Almeida.
Yeah, him also.
Jailton, yeah, Almeida.
Volkov, okay? Alexander Volkov. I read a quote from him where he says, like, I should have got a title shot by now. And I kind of agree a little bit on that, where you're keeping the division, like, inactive, and it should be the most important division of the UFC. And a lot of these guys should be getting title shot. And And if Volkov was just in a title fight, it would make him a bigger star after, even if he loses it. So I don't know, man. I want to see these guys more active at heavyweight. And yeah, I think Jon Jones should probably just vacate the title right now. Not sure why he doesn't say it. Like maybe he's still hoping to, because there must be some type of if he doesn't officially say I'm retired or I'm vacating, like inside of him, there's probably a chance where he's like, oh, I might fight. But how would that come to fruition? Would it be like money? Because that I could understand. So like maybe it's a money issue where he wants the UFC to pay him what he believes he's worth. I don't blame him that much, but I want the guy to be active.
But the UFC is only going to pay him what he's worth based on what they expect the fight to do, money-wise. And if Aspinall becomes a bigger star, then they can pay Jon Jones more because they'll expect a bigger number. I just think it's beneficial for Aspinall to just stay active.
Thanks.
Forget about Jones. Tell the UFC, do whatever with the belt. Call him the champion. I don't care. Just let me fight, and the world will recognize me as the heavyweight champion. Like, it doesn't matter if he's the interim champion. If Jon Jones doesn't fight for like a year or two, and Aspinall's out there as the interim champion defending and beating guys, who do you think people are going to recognize as champion? And yes, they should just strip Jones of the belt and say it's Aspinall's, but I think they're trying to keep Jones happy, and they're hoping and crossing their fingers that they do make this fight happen because they kept saying that they would. And it feels like there's pressure on Dana to make the fight happen, and he's just not able to do it, and they're stalling. And no disrespect to Alexander Volkov. Like, yeah, maybe he should have gotten a title shot if he would have won a couple of fights in a row by now, but he hasn't fought since he lost a split decision in December to Cyril Gane.
But here's,
and he also has lost to Tom Aspinall in the first round with an armbar.
Look,
yeah, with a straight armbar, exactly.
He's just an example of like the division needing to be active. Because look at GSP's run, for example. You know, like, did Dan Hardy really deserve a title shot? Did it? Like, I'm sure you could find some guys that you go like, yeah, you know, but those fights are still like needed for the division to stay active. Like, okay, GSP dominates Dan Hardy, dominates Jake Shields, dominates. These fights still need to happen, man. So
yeah.
I understand Volkov's point that he's trying to say.
The UFC needs to book a pay-per-view with Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall for the undisputed heavyweight championship at the top of the card, and the co-main event needs to be 22-3 Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Volkov, and they need to be promoted as the number one contenders. It needs to be a title eliminator. You set up the heavyweight division, and you get things moving. They need to just move along. But again, I feel like, you know, somebody at TKO is telling Dana, I thought we were going to get this Jones-Aspinall fight. Like, we got to make big fights at heavyweight. Like, I feel like there's pressure because Dana keeps saying, oh, we're going to do this fight. We're going to do this fight. We're going to do this fight. And Jones the whole time has been like, not really. You know? So it's weird because the UFC seems like they're the ones not willing to move on. Like, Aspinall at this point seems like, okay, let me fight somebody. Jon Jones is like, I don't think I want to fight this guy. And the UFC's like, you guys must fight each other. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's weird.
Now, props to Aspinall to want to continue fighting because, honestly, there's some tough matchups out there. Like, you know, Cyril Gane is not an easy fight. Like, Aspinall will be favored. I think he'll win. But there's other guys, man. We mentioned Jailton Almeida. There's some good heavyweights. We just need to have them more active.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure that Aspinall beats Cyril Gane.
Yeah, me neither.
What?
I'm not. I think Gane. What, you don't think Gane could win that fight?
Look, and you know I'm a big Gane fan. I called it from the beginning that he'd be where he was.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
In the UFC. But I just think that, like, when you look at Tom Aspinall and what he's done, like, even the losses that he's had were like one that he was injured, and another one that was a disqualification. The only legitimate loss he has is a heel hook that he got back in 2015. When you look at all the guys he's beat, look at the guys, man. He's beat Curtis Blades again after the fact that he had a torn knee there and he lost. I don't call that a legitimate win. He beat Pavlich. He beat Tabora. He beat Volkov. He beat Spivak. These were all big names that we were saying were killers in the heavyweight division, and he dismantled them. So I think
okay.
Tom Aspinall has a deeper credibility, and I love Cyril Gane. I think Cyril's going to have a hard time standing toe-to-toe with Tom Aspinall, and I think his jiu-jitsu game is not going to be at the same level as Tom Aspinall. I think what Jon Jones did to Cyril Gane, I was shocked. But he's not going to be able to do that to Tom Aspinall. For some reason, I believe Tom Aspinall's fighting IQ is much greater than Cyril Gane's. And I'm the first guy to have called that Cyril Gane would be the heavyweight champion in the UFC at one point, before even got into the UFC. And you know that.
Sure. Which fight are you talking about now? Are you talking about Jones and Aspinall or Gane and Aspinall?
Gane. I'm talking about Jones versus Aspinall has to be the fight to be made. And if Jones doesn't do it, you're talking about will Gane beat Aspinall?
But I think we need to move on. I think we need to move on.
I know, for sure.
And look to Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall. And
so
you were pretty convinced that Aspinall would win that fight. But let me counter that, give you a counterpoint with Cyril Gane, who has knocked out Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, Sergey Spivak, is coming off a decision win over Alexander Volkov, has a 13-2 record, moves around the octagon like a welterweight, has incredible footwork, and only has losses to Jon Jones, greatest fighter of all time, and Francis Ngannou in an absolute war that he lost, 3 rounds to 2 in a very tough fight with Francis, who also nobody is beating. Like, Francis and Jones are at the tippy top of the elite fighters in mixed martial arts, and those are the only guys that have defeated Cyril Gane. And he's got experience. He's only 35. Like, he's prime time at heavyweight right now, and I am not convinced that that's a slam dunk fight for Tom Aspinall. I think that's a very winnable fight for Cyril Gane, and the fact that it hasn't happened yet makes me want it. I want that fight to happen. And I know that Jones is the big money fight, and everybody loves a Jon Jones fight, me included. I just, if I had to choose, I would choose Jones and Aspinall. Like, I would choose for Jones to fight because I like to see Jon Jones fight. But, rationally, I don't think it's going to happen.
Look, and I'm surprised because we talk a lot about Jon Jones, and I saw a comment from Johnny, and he's right, man. There's a lot of people out there that are like, where's Jon Jones? I don't want to say I'm a hater, but worse than I ever said in the past, like on some of our videos that have been posted. I've seen it. Like, people don't think Jon Jones is worthy
people
enough,
hate him.
Or they hate him, man, more and more, which I thought after the Cyril Gane fight, and he's been out of trouble this whole time, I thought more people would start liking the guy, but it went the other way. I think it went south, and I think him ducking right now doesn't help his thing. Even he should just come, fight, win or lose. How many more fights does he have in his career? 1?
Yeah.
Maybe 2, depending who it is. Like, literally, there's only 1 fight left in his career, and he's got to do it within the next 2 years.
I think the hate,
but it's not
honestly,
fair for Aspinall.
I think the hate is from a lot of newer fans who, Jon Jones, when he was beating up Daniel Cormier, that was 2015. That's 10 years ago. If you're, 20 years old you were 10 years old, you have no recollection of Jon Jones being the man. So right now, you just see what you see now.
But the hate might be good, actually, because it makes people want to see him fight. And, if you make people wait a little bit, but not too much, you create some buzz. So, it might be some gamesmanship and knowing how to maximize this thing. So the hate, I wouldn't be too worried about that. The worst thing for a fighter is for people to be indifferent. So for people to have some hate towards Jon Jones is not a bad thing.
I think Jon Jones would be very much, I don't know. I think there would be some satisfaction with Jon Jones and Jon Jones fans if Aspinall went on to fight Cyril Gane and lost. Where would the Jon Jones haters be then? Where would the guys saying he's ducking Aspinall, he's scared of Aspinall, if Cyril Gane just beats Aspinall? Then everybody go, oh, yeah, I guess Aspinall, all those guys are going to jump off the Aspinall train and be like, oh, Jones should fight Cyril Gane. And then you show them the tape, and you're like, here's the video of that happening. And they're like, oh, Jones is the best. It's like, yeah, we know, guys. We know. I think he'd feel real good if that happened. And, it's a real possibility. You know what I'm saying? It's a real possibility. And AJ, the Jones-Aspinall fight, I know you think it would go differently than the Cyril Gane fight, but I don't see Aspinall's wrestling being anywhere near Jon Jones's wrestling. Technique-wise, he's levels above.
At 6'5", he's 251 pounds. The guy's a big boy. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's done pretty good in the submission game in the heavyweight division. He pulled off some nice stuff.
I'm not
telling
tapping
you, it's
Jon
a
Jones.
different.
Jon Jones would tap him.
Look,
Jon Jones slapped that guillotine on you. It's over. It's over.
Listen, he could do that on a shorter fighter, but he's going up against a 6'5" guy. It's going to be much harder to throw in that guillotine at that height.
I would take
way,
Jones in that
Jose.
fight. I think I'm more convinced now. I would take Jones in that fight.
No, I'm more convinced that Tom Aspinall is the guy who deserves the belt, and he deserves to win it from a legitimate fight. Not as an interim again, which he already was. I think it's unfair for him. And I think Jon Jones, if he wants to be the king of the hill, he's got to go out as king of the hill. Either, standing upright or doing the horizontal mamba. Either or. He's got to do it now. And I agree with a lot of those guys getting on us too, saying Jon Jones, this and that. They're right in a sense. I'm going back to my ways. I love the fact that Jon Jones has done incredible things in the UFC, but he's got to do something now. This is it, man. You came into the heavyweight division. You've done a couple of good fights. Miocic wasn't something that was going to impress me because I knew he was going to beat him, and Miocic was almost broken. He was broken. But he did the gun. I was surprised. But I think
you couldn't believe
that was a mistake. I believe the more I look at it, I keep looking at that fight all the time because it bothers me so much. And I'm convinced that Cyril Gane fucked up. He stumbled back. He made a mistake, and Jones capitalized. But I'm not so sure where it would have went if it went past that first round. That's my thing. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that to Tom Aspinall, especially with Tom Aspinall's. I'm not saying Cyril Gane is small. He's no small guy at all. But Tom Aspinall is a beast. And I think he moves around just like Cyril Gane. He moves fast and probably has a harder punch than Cyril Gane.
Jon Jones.
And I think his submission is a lot better.
This is how the fight goes, AJ. Jon Jones, eye poke, dick kick, guillotine, over. Victory.
Nah,
Flawless.
I doubt it. No, man. I think it's going to be the opposite, bud.
You think Aspinall is going to do eye poke, dick kick, guillotine? Wow.
No, I can see the dick kick. There's a lot of dick kicks lately in the UFC. Every time you see one,
you have to do
one card, there's going to be a dick pick or a dick kick.
You have to kick your opponent in the dick. It's mandatory in the UFC.
Or an oil check.
Don't. It hurts a lot, and you don't get really penalized whatsoever.
If you do it only once. If you do it more than once, you're risking penalty.
Yeah, you're risking penalty, but you might not get a penalty. And man, does it hurt to kick? When you get kicked in the balls, it hurts. It's a great.
I forgot
great
that fight
tactic.
that we were watching where
eye pokes
there was
too. Eye pokes are great. Poke your opponent in the eye, as long as you do it so he can continue. But his
Bilal
vision
Muhammad,
is
remember?
slightly blurry. Make sure your
That was
opponent
Bilal.
is not gonna kind of look for a disqualification. Make sure he doesn't Aljamain Sterling his way out of the fight.
Look, I'd rather get a dick kick than an eye poke. Let's be honest. Remember Bilal when he got that eye poke? It almost took out his career.
Yeah, I've had children. I want to keep vision. I'd like to see. So I'm good, I guess. I'll take the dick kick, I suppose.
You'll become a eunuch, man, in the UFC.
Yeah. AJ's not wrong. Fred, you going to weigh in? Dick kick, eye poke?
I mean, my eyesight is already pretty bad. And my dick's pretty good, man. I want to keep my good dick.
So you're taking the eye poke?
Bravo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what oh, wow. Wow, Fred's taking the eye poke. I'm
Sponsored
saying
by Viagra. Way
my
to go,
gimmick
Freddie.
is strong. I think I could take a punch. I'll be all right. He'll live to fight another day, brother. Okay.
It'll be like those Shaolin monks. Remember the Shaolin monks putting bricks to their dicks and walking?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real. Johnny, you want to try it, man? Let's do it.
Yes, boy!
I guess Johnny's doing it.
Johnny's down. Johnny North in the chat. Antoinette in the chat. What's up, Antoinette? Member for 52 months. Good God Almighty. Thank you, Antoinette. You're the best.
Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you,
jabronis,
Antoinette.
man.
Angelo Contagonis is here, too. What's up, Angelo?
Angelo, I wonder how his birthday went down at the strip joint and all that.
Ooh, whoa. Stop
Sorry,
revealing too
Angelo,
much.
I'm sorry. I let the cat out of the bag. I'm sorry.
All right. UFC 316 is this weekend. We'll be doing a watch-along and Money in the Bank post-show. Same time, same channel.
Oh, it's Money on the... That's this weekend? I didn't even know.
Saturday night, brother. Cool. TKO is giving us a double whammy. They got Money in the Bank, and it's probably like 7 o'clock. I think it'll probably be over by 10, leading right into the pay-per-view. Hell yeah.
That's the way you do it, man.
Yeah. So we're going to do a big show on Saturday. I think Johnny might join us. Fred will join us. AJ will join us. My brother might join. And it's going to be like packed. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be like a real party, man.
Yeah. I think we have Johnny and Fred on location, and then AJ and my brother and me in the hub here. It's going to be crazy.
Wow, it's going to be wild, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy night on Saturday night on the Ringside Report Network. We may have would that be the first time ever? Is that the first time ever where we would have
No, we didn't.
No, but that's a big lineup. Fred.
Didn't we do it for WrestleMania once?
With Fred, Johnny, AJ, my brother, and me, like all of us?
I'm pretty sure we've done it.
Oh, with Johnny. Yeah, I don't think we
Five-man
ever did
crew.
that.
Maybe not with Johnny, but I'm not sure, actually.
Wow.
No, we
don't
never
see
did it with Johnny.
We don't see Johnny interact like with Fred and AJ a lot on the Ringside Report Network. I'm excited about that.
I miss Johnny.
I'm excited
so
about
am I,
seeing
man.
Johnny and Fred and AJ together. Because you see me and Johnny. You see me and Fred and AJ. But then the combo, the crisscross. What a show. Johnny says it's never happened before.
I'm going to challenge Johnny to a Freddy to body.
What?
award.
Look at that. Roy's Freddy, man.
Ooh.
Freddy on juice. Hey, make a t-shirt, Freddy on juice. Dave, get it. Freddy on juice, man.
Freddie, no disrespect, but Johnny is huge. You know?
Johnny's a beast.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at those biceps, actually. It's pretty impressive.
He's a bodybuilder. All right. Well,
Did you tell Johnny that you're taking creatine?
Oh, are you
Which
going
I gotta
to
start
reveal
taking
things here,
myself.
AJ? Can you take it easy?
I didn't say that we were taking Viagra or anything. It's creatine, man. It's like a normal supplement. I got to take it myself, actually.
Wow. Maybe I'll do it too. Maybe we'll all do something.
And TRT would be a very nice mix.
Whoa.
Just saying.
How about HGH? Let's just go hard. I want to look like Barry Bonds, baby. Let's go.
Barry was the best, man. And Jose Canseco. Weren't they doing it at the same time?
Hey, who knows? Who knows what they were doing?
Jose.
All I know is whatever they did, they not in the Hall of Fame now because of it. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Jose do an MMA fight?
He did. He fought in the Dream Openweight tournament against Hong Man Choi. He fought
No way. It was against Hong Mang.
It was against Hong Man Choi. He lost. In that tournament, Mark Hunt was in that tournament. And Manawa Man was in that tournament, Ikuhisa Manawa. And also, I think the eventual winner of the tournament was Gegard Mousasi.
Holy, are you serious?
Yes. So
what a mix, man.
So if Jose had been successful, there was a chance that we could have seen Gegard Mousasi versus Jose Canseco, which would have been sick, you know?
Wasn't like the first round all like fighters against athlete, like another sport athlete? I think
it was just like freak show fights. I think Gegard fought Mark Hunt in the first round and tapped him. That was a really good tournament. The Dream Openweight Grand Prix. I wonder if I could get... That's one of my favorite MMA events of all time. It was the Super Hulk. Dream Super Hulk, I think. Manawa, man. Did Manawa win it in the end? Because Gegard went to Strikeforce, possibly? When was this?
What a mistake by Gegard.
Dream 14.
That's a lost, talent.
What do you mean?
Well, it would have been nice to keep him in the UFC, right?
Oh, yeah, Manawa Man won the Dream Super Hulk in the end. How did he wind up doing that? Dream Super Hulk. Super Hulk 2009. Manawa Man beat Bob Sapp in the opening round, then beat Hongman Choi in the semifinals, then beat Sokaju by knockout in the finals to win. Manawa Man. Jose Canseco lost to Hongman Choi in the first round. Yan Norte, he was a giant guy, lost to Sokaju in the first round. And Gegard Mousasi beat Mark Hunt. And then Gegard was injured. Okay, he was injured and couldn't fight in the second round. Bob Sapp took his place and lost to Sokaju because Bob Sapp was just throwing fights, I think, at that point.
Oof, Bob Sapp.
And then it wound up being Sokaju and Manawa Man in the finals. What a tournament. Sokaju. You remember
That's
that
a
guy?
crazy tournament, man.
You remember Sokaju?
He was amazing, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was a beast when he came in.
Ramo
Man, I wonder what's happening with those
Sokaju.
guys. That's a blast from the past, man. Some serious names.
Yeah,
Mark
2009.
Hunt? Come on, man. At that time, Mark Hunt was so dangerous.
And Gegard tapped him. And Mark Hunt
That's
was
crazy.
like 260, 270, maybe 280. He was huge, And Gegard was maybe
and in
200
his
pounds.
prime.
There was a big weight gap, and Gegard tapped him, I think, in the first round.
That's crazy, man. That guy is one of the most impressive talents I've ever seen, and it's a shame that most people don't know him.
Who?
I don't know why he left.
Gegard. Gegard had a run in
like-
the UFC. He lost a couple fights, and then he went Bellator.
Big mistake, man.
I don't
He
think
should've
so.
stuck
He
around. I
he
think
made
he
good
would've-
money. He has had a good career. He's a smart guy. Invested in property in the Netherlands. Never doubt Gegard. Gegard was the man.
Oh,
He was one of my favorite fighters
was, man.
ever.
Same
He was
here.
my favorite. When Gegard was fighting, oh, man. Fred, you remember the days when Gegard would fight and I would get all excited? It'd be like Gegard fight days. You wouldn't hear about Bellator for months. Then all of a sudden I'd be like, hey, guys, it's Gegard Day. He's fighting today. You'd be like, what? It's Bellator.
Gegard.
He was the best. All right. UFC 316. Sean O'Malley and Merab. Rematch.
Not Gegard's. That's for sure.
Take it easy. Merab and Sean O'Malley here, guys. It's the UFC Bantamweight Championship. It's the rematch. O'Malley has not fought since the loss to Merab, unanimous decision back in September of last year. Merab coming off a win over Umar Nurmagomedov, unanimous decision back in January. And he's right back at it here against Sean O'Malley, who has quit a lot of things leading up to this fight. Have you seen all the talk around Sean O'Malley? He quit pleasuring himself. He quit smoking weed. He quit, I don't know, other things,
But
I
didn't
guess?
he do that he had done that already in his last fight, no?
Yeah.
Because I
I think
remember
so.
that was
No.
a discussion
not?
already. Yeah, the pleasuring himself and all, I'm pretty sure was
That was part of
already-
it, yeah.
Yeah, but he was
Yeah.
injured on leading into that fight, like I said, last week. But yeah, he's done the whole Shaolin monk kind of style of celibacy and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, I've heard that's a myth, but I don't know.
You remember when GSP
What?
would talk about it? He goes he would talk about the boxers and go they don't do it, not even with themselves.
Yeah.
You don't remember that clip?
Yeah, that was on a countdown or something. He couldn't believe it. But I don't think GSP did that. I think he was whatever, Yes, so Sean O'Malley has maybe remained
honest.
celibate. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he's talking about it.
I'll be honest, man. I wasn't really hyped for this fight, but the more the more we're getting close, the more I'm getting hyped for it. I'm a big Merab fan. I don't think O'Malley should be getting the title fight right now. But earlier I was talking about GSP's run, and there's some fights in there, man, that you go yeah, they're not the most compelling fights. And this is probably the case for the Merab run. Like, this is not the most compelling fight to me, but I still want to see it. And Merab, man, if anything, man, Merab, he tends to be a little bit of a joker. He can't joke. You have to take Sean O'Malley seriously, and you got to treat him as a credible threat, as if this guy, he's coming for your belt. So Merab, just be focused, and I believe Merab should win. I got Merab by decision again, probably like 50-43, something like that. He gets at least 2 rounds at a 10-8. And in the countdowns, I was seeing O'Malley saying like he worked on his wrestling, which is good, but I don't think he'll ever be able. Like, O'Malley could wrestle for 5 straight years. He'll never be as good a wrestler as Merab is. So I hope O'Malley figures a way to not get taken down and strike, because I that's his path to victory, in my opinion. But I don't see it happening. I got Merab by decision, dominating.
Yeah.
Look,
it was just so much Merab last time. I have a hard time believing that it'll
Dave,
be
there was a lot
time.
of there was a lot of like factors, and I'm gonna get into them again. Like, there was an injury, there was some personal issues. I mean, even his team. I mean, they didn't say anything on this one, but on the first encounter, when you look at the significant strikes that were thrown, if I'm not mistaken, there were 89 significant strikes thrown in that fight with O'Malley, which doesn't make sense, because when he fought Chito Vera, there was close to 356 significant strikes. So it's not the same O'Malley that went into the Merab fight, and I'll give it to Merab. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you could check it up, but he almost had like 10 minutes of like ground time on O'Malley. So O'Malley was just basically being like ragdolled through that whole fight. And I agree with Freddie. Like, look, can O'Malley knock out Merab? Yes. But can O'Malley stop like that fast-paced, like, forward-moving, like, pressure from that wrestler? I don't think so. I think the 10 minutes, like, would be the same thing if they're coming into the second. I'm a big O'Malley, supporter in a sense. I like the way he's fought his career and whatnot. But Merab is at a different level, man, with the Longo team and all that kind of stuff. He's just, the way he took apart, the way he won against Umar was enough for me to say, you know what, maybe this guy has something. And if he didn't win against Umar, or if that fight never took place, I might have gave the edge to O'Malley. But because of what I saw with Umar was enough for me to realize that, Merab is really the real deal. And he always was. It's just that, like, he doesn't get enough credit, man. It's just a shame, and he's a very underrated guy overall. And he's a very humble guy too when you see him with other fighters and whatnot. But in reality, this guy is a beast. And I think I think he's gonna take the second fight again with a healthy O'Malley.
Wow. We talked about it last week. I felt like you were leaning
Angelo.
I felt like you were leaning towards O'Malley.
I was, dude. But then when I looked at that Umar fight again, it was enough to me, for me to like be realistic and not like go with emotion. Because a lot of times I go with emotion and I end up losing. And I have to be like, every time I go with like stats and I review the fights, I win, man. Especially on my parlays. When I really take it and I'll take it apart and not put any emotion into it, this is what I did with this one. I want to go with O'Malley. Everything wants me to go with O'Malley. I'm thinking O'Malley might pull it off. But in reality, man, Merab is a beast. And he's not even on his down swing of his career. You know what I'm saying? He's just reaching that pinnacle point. So it's too dangerous.
Merab Dvalishvili minus 300, the favorite, 34 years old. Sean O'Malley, 30 years old, plus 225, the underdog. And I think we are unanimous here, going with Merab. I think this fight goes the distance again. I've got Merab, unanimous decision, once again. Same result. I could see it being a little bit closer of a fight, but I think the result will be the same. I think Merab wins 50-45. Maybe 49-46. Maybe 48-47, But either way, like, whatever. Maybe O'Malley takes 2 rounds. Maybe it's one of those fights where you go, ooh, I don't know, 2-2, and the third one could have been either fight, It could be one of those. And if it is, don't be surprised if O'Malley wins. O'Malley's got to keep it close. He's got to keep it close. He's got to keep it, a question. Last time it wasn't a question. He lost.
He's got to do the Chito Vera thing. That's what he's got to do. But Chito Vera is willing to exchange. I don't think Merab is. That's the difference.
Yeah, I've got Merab winning this fight. Merab, I think you made a really good point. Like, AJ, you said, without the Umar fight, I don't know if I'd pick Merab, but because of the Umar fight, it was just so eye-opening to see the level of wrestling that Merab displayed. Because I think going into it, a lot of us thought, like, ooh, Umar might be the guy here to take Merab, and he might be the boogeyman of this division. And then Merab was like, yeah, I don't think so, dude. Just went right through him. It was really impressive. You don't expect a Nurmagomedov to be, like, out-wrestled and out-grappled, and Merab did it, which makes you think, whoa, like, how good is he? Right? How good is Merab?
We're not giving him enough respect.
Yeah,
we didn't give him enough respect.
He's the man. So I've got Merab winning. Co-main event, Julianna Peña, plus 500 the dog. Kayla Harrison, minus 800 the favorite. And you know where I'm going with this, baby.
Don't do it, Dave. It's not going to be the same,
Don't
man.
do it, Dave.
Don't even think about it.
By knockout, round 3. No, round 2.
Man.
Round 2. Julianna by knockout.
You're losing your money, bud.
Venezuela,
listen, man,
Vixen, let's go.
The Vixen is going to be fixing her stitches, man, at the end of the fight. There's no way in hell. And sorry,
Kayla's
Fred,
gonna
I got to jump in.
Too much
Amanda
muscle.
Nunes,
She's too
2021.
muscular. She's too strong.
Listen, bro, you know what? Look, 2021 was the fluke of all flukes.
No. Oh, my God. Kayla Harrison is terrifying.
She is, man.
Yeah, she's something. But I don't know.
I went to see today on YouTube that fight she had with Ronda Rousey in judo. Because Ronda Rousey has a win over her in judo. It's interesting.
Yeah, but did she have any gold medals like her?
Ronda doesn't have a gold medal.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, Harrison does. And, you know,
I got
Harrison,
Kayla.
man. Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. There's
Kayla,
no way Peña.
Dominant decision, man. This is unfortunately, man. This is another pay-per-view with 2 title fights that are going 10 rounds. We're gonna go to bed late, but
I don't think this is gonna last long.
No, you hear what I said? Peña knockout round 2. This will be quick.
Nah,
7-minute fight,
Dave.
8 minutes.
Man, that's a waste of a parlay right there. But I'm going to tell you, this is going to be the biggest mismatch in history.
That's a single bet. You don't put that on a parlay. Plus 500, you do that by itself.
Yeah, put on a single, but it's a single loss, man. But I'm going to tell you, like, this is going to be the biggest mismatch. And you know what? I understand that Peña is always the underdog, even though she's champ and all that kind of stuff. But Harrison, in my opinion, is probably more dangerous than an Amanda in her prime, I think. And she's coming up, dude. This is a different game, man. This girl is something.
I'm gonna give props to both girls because 2 weeks ago I didn't really care about this fight, but the trash talk has gotten me into it, man. They've delivered, man. There's a lot of animosity there. So I'm hyped for it.
Julianna knows how to sell a fight.
The only thing that worries me, guys, is the weight cut for Harrison. That's the only thing that bothers me. If she can't make that weight cut, that's the only thing. If she can't make that weight cut, and we're getting to fight night, well, tomorrow. If I see her tomorrow looking like she's green, I might have to step back on my pick.
Here we go.
If she's not looking green, that's the only thing that could be like something devastating for Harrison.
Legendary
that she can't
Peña
make
power.
That weight cut.
You know, I was reading a comment today, I think on YouTube or something, and like maybe they should have a heavyweight division for the women where the men heavyweight division is like 205 to 265. So why not make the women heavyweight division like from 135 to 165 or something? That'd be,
open weight.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, not open weight, because you don't, just like the men, you don't want guys to be 400 pounds or whatever, but
fuck that. I want Gabby Garcia in the UFC, bro.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, man.
Gabby Garcia, Kayla Harrison, MMA in the UFC. Gabby Garcia's fought MMA before. Let's see her.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do it.
I got Kayla,
it would be interesting. I think Freddie has a good point.
Parlay.
No,
she's not on my parlay.
She shouldn't be, Fred, because she's going to lose, bro. Kayla's going to lose. Julianna is going to defend the takedown. She is going to keep it at boxing range. She is going to land punches. Kayla is going to get rattled, and she's going to get stopped. I actually believe this. I'm not even talking shit, guys. I think Julianna Peña is going to win again. And you guys doubted me the first time with Amanda. And then
what
she
about the second time? What about the second time against Amanda?
Different story.
That was the real.
We doubted you again the second time, and you trash talked like a lot.
Yeah, but Fred, let me just let me jump in for a second. The first fight, the first round was a 10-8 round for Amanda, who had COVID, who was dizzy. She had a broken arm, and she went into the fight, and she still managed to get a 10-8 first round win. And the second one, she gassed out because of COVID.
COVID's fake, bro. I had it. It was fine.
Now you say it. Now you call it fake.
I think you're allowed to say it on YouTube now.
Okay. I can't believe you're saying that.
Peña knows how to sell herself. Like she talks a good game, man. Like I say, the past week, the trash talking has been very good. She knows how to sell herself. She's a scrapper. She'll go into it, but I just feel Kayla is too much.
Yeah, I can see that. She's a monster. I'm going with Julianna. Okay, how about the Kelvin the Gastelum? He's only 33 years old. He seems like 43 because he's been fighting in the UFC since 2013. He was like, I don't know, 12.
It's been a while, man. But he came in as like a real dangerous guy. Remember, there was a lot of hype on him.
He still is a dangerous guy.
He is. But
coming off a win over Daniel Rodriguez, he takes on the dangerous Joe Pyfer, 28 years old, out of New Jersey, coming off a victory, knockout over Marc-André Barriault. This could be a fun fight.
This is power puncher, man.
Yeah, this is a dangerous fight. I feel like Pyfer is the big favorite, I think. I don't know what
he's minus 400. Yeah.
But you know what, man? Pyfer, he beat Barrio. Other than that, doesn't have that many big names, I feel, on his record. Whereas Gastelum, man, you look, he's lost to some big names, but I don't know. Gastelum could always surprise you. He's a veteran. He's skilled. If you want to bet on a dog, maybe I'd put a couple of bucks on him. But this one is a tough one. It's not going to be on my parlay. And I'm leaning towards Pyfer, but I think Gastelum could pull it off.
I think this is a big one for Pyfer. He's going to be fighting in front of his home crowd. He's from New Jersey. This fight is in Newark. I think this is a big one for Pyfer. I think this is kind of a coming out party for him, too, on the pay-per-view against a big name in Kelvin Gastelum, probably the biggest name. I mean, definitely the biggest name that Pyfer has ever had here, and he's going to do it in Jersey. I think this is set up for him to have, like a big reveal to the MMA world, and he's going to win this fight. I got Joe Pyfer winning this one, but Gastelum's always dangerous. He had that crazy fight with Adesanya. Yeah. He's had some great fights. He's a beast.
But there's a lot of wear and tear on him. After 29 fights, he's 20-9. You're going up against Pyfer at 13-3, young, coming into literally his home crowd. He has devastating power behind his punches. A much bigger or a much taller fighter in a sense. Look, this is it. I don't want to say it could go either or, but I think maybe the edge will go to the Pyfer just because there's less wear and tear on this man at this point in his career. Nothing more than that. Maybe the edge on punching, but
Fred, did you say the underdog on this card was Gastelum to bet on? Because I see the underdog on this card to bet on, and it's not Gastelum. It's Vicente Luque, because he's fighting Kevin Holland.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I have Vicente. I have Vicente on my parlay, but
He's plus 210, Luque.
I still think there's money to be made maybe with Gastelum because I'm not convinced of Pfeiffer, man. I'm not convinced he should
I'm really
win.
not convinced of Kevin Holland favored over Vicente Luque. How?
Oh, me neither. Like I said,
How?
I could give you my parlay. I have Luque on my parlay because I do like that.
That seems crazy to me. Like,
well,
bet on
Holland is
Luque.
His last fight, Holland fought Gunnar Nelson, and look, I always pick against Kevin Holland lately because I think the guy doesn't always show up. But he did win against Gunnar Nelson, so he's on a good streak. But yeah,
Gunnar Nelson is basically retired, bro. It's not a real fight. Vicente Luque is legit in the welterweight division. He's actually competing. He beat Rafael Dos Anjos in 2023. Like, the guy is legit as legit comes, man. Come on. I've got Vicente Luque winning in this fight. I'm surprised he's the underdog. I'm really surprised he's the underdog. Damn. Patchy mix. Okay, you want to do parlays? You talked about it.
Man, it's tough.
I have one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hold on. I'm not ready for you. Let me AJ,
What
you
about
like
Patchy
Holland
coming
to
into
win
UFC,
a fight?
man? I think, you know what, like Fred said, like, you know, with Kevin Holland, he's like, you know, he's hot and cold, but these guys are very equal when you look at them. They're never going to be champions. They're in the mix. They bring a good fight. But Luque will never have a belt around his waist. Let's be honest. Yeah, he's a great fighter and whatnot, but so is Kevin Holland, man. When Kevin Holland comes out to fight, like he did with Gunnar as well, I mean, he's more active. We see Holland fight all the time. Like every time I see a fight, Holland might be there. And that's the thing. He's very active, you know, 27-13. The guy is like very active.
He's distracted.
You know, he's still quite, but the thing is that he puts on a show. And sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's not. The last one, he was okay.
He's more focused on putting on a show than he is winning fights. I don't trust him to win. Fred, give me your parlay. Yeah. I'm ready. What do you got?
All right, so as I said, I have Vicente Luque because I agree he's going to win that fight.
Yes.
Then I have this fight. I'm kind of intrigued. We passed over it. The Mario Batista and Patchy Mix fight. I've been seeing the previews, and they talk a lot about Patchy Mix. But you know what, man? I'm going to go with Mario Batista on my parlay, man. He's a good fighter, and he's going to welcome the Bellator guy and cause the surprise. So I got Vicente Luque, Mario Batista, and Merab Dvalishvili as my part.
Interesting. Mario Bautista making his UFC debut is 20-1, 31 years old, from New York. So he's also got
Patchy
kind of
Mix
that.
is making his debut.
Yeah, sorry. Did I say Batista? I mean Patchy Mix.
Yeah.
All that stuff I said was about Patchy Mix. 18-1, 31 years old. Did I say 18-1? God, I'm lost. 20-1. Coming off a win over Magomedov. So Fred's parlay is Patchy Mix, Vicente. No, sorry. It's Mario Batista, Vicente Luque, and Merab?
Yep. Okay.
So it is a 3-fight parlay from Team Fred, and 20 will get you 204-28. How about that for the Team Fred parlay? Luque, Bautista, and Merab Dvalishvili. He walks alone. Fred walks alone inside this pit of danger. Batista, you know? You guys know Batista's theme song? It's a good one.
He doesn't look so good lately, Batista, man.
Dave Batista? Oh, you would say that, AJ. I know why you don't like Batista now, AJ.
I mean, he lost all his muscle.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Bro, he looks like
jacked as he used to be, brother.
Does he think he'll get acting roles because of his acting?
Maybe. I think he does.
He looks like somebody who could like fit into Zoolander 3. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Batista. I'm not a fan of Batista. We all know I don't like Batista. Okay? I got beef with Batista.
Not looking good, man. He needs some like Vitor in him again.
You know the story about Batista, right? I'll tell you.
No, what's the story?
It's okay.
I'm curious
Well,
now.
All right, real quick. Batista was in town doing a movie, and I reached out to him and I was like, "Yo, Batista, come on the show." And he was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll come on the show." And then I was like, "Wow, cool, Batista wants to come on the show." And then I wrote back. I was like, "Well, when do you want to come on? How about this day? Try to set it up." I never heard back from Batista. Why say yes and then not follow up, man?
That's not cool, man. That's not cool.
Yeah, I know. Just say no.
Batista.
Yeah, exactly. Blue Tista. Fucking Batista. All right. Here's my parlay. I'm going to go with Luque as well. I like Luque to win this fight. Do I put him on a parlay, though? Because I feel like single bets. Single bet for Luque. I like Azamat. We're going to go with Azamat for sure. Azamat Mirzakhanov, minus 600, the favorite, should win. Yeah, what the hell? Let's do Fred. I think wait, I was gonna do almost the same parlay as Fred. I'm gonna switch it up. Fred gave you Merab, Luque, and Bautista. I'm giving you a different parlay. I'm gonna give you Merab, Luque, and Azamat Mirzakhanov, who's a huge favorite. So Azamat over Brenson Ribeiro, Vicente Luque plus 210, and Merab Dvalishvili minus 290. 20 gets you 97.28 over at bet99.com. All right. It's my 3-fight parlay. That's for you.
Oof, guys.
Just for you. AJ, do you like it or do you love it?
No, I don't actually, man. I'm actually kind of
You don't like it or love it?
I don't like it, and I don't love it. I'm going to tell you why, because I'm going to go like the distance here, but I'm really surprised you guys going against Luque, against Kevin Holland. I'm just saying they're not that far apart. There's a couple of edges where I'm going to give to Kevin Holland, one being his reach. And if Kevin Holland could come out and fight, which I think he's going to do, being on a pay-per-view and put on a show, his reach is going to be the difference against Vincent Luque. He's... I understand he's hot and cold, but a lot of times we underestimate Kevin Holland and what he can do. I think he's going to beat Vincent Luque. So I'm going to start from the bottom up. So I'm going with Kevin Holland on my pick. I'm surprised nobody's going with Patchy, because as a Bellator champ, this guy is ridiculous, man. Like, he's so good. He's completely he's a beast, man, on the ground. I mean, if anything can happen, Patchy Mix can submit Bautista. And, that's where I'm going with. I'm not going to put Patchy Mix to go for submission, but if you want to go with a single bet and put a couple of dollars, go with Patchy for submission. Okay. Then I'm going to go straight off into Pfeiffer. So I'm kind of surprised you guys went with Gastelum, or who went with Gastelum? Freddie, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. No, he went.
Yeah. So
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think Pfeiffer will win though.
Yeah,
I think Pfeiffer is going to win. And then I'm going to go straight up to the top, and I don't see Kayla at any point losing a round in this fight. And I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds. I think, man, she could even knock out Julianna. Not even with the takedowns or whatnot, but if she gets on top, ground and pound, it's going to be a stoppage. And then I'm going to go with Merab. So I've always gone with Sean, but Merab has just impressed me so much, and he's so underrated. And you know what? I got to give credit where credit is due. The guy is there for a reason. He deserves the belt, and he's going to keep that belt.
There's AJ's parlay. Kevin Holland minus 280, Patchy Mix minus 190, Joe Pfeiffer minus 400, Kayla Harrison minus 750, and Merab Dvalishvili minus 290. It's all the favorites on the main card. 20 gets you 78.93. You're taking all the favorites on the main card. You know that, eh?
Yeah, I didn't realize Kevin Holland was the favorite on that one, but okay.
Yeah, he's a big favorite. I don't think he should be.
He is a big favorite.
We spent 5 minutes talking about it.
Yeah, we talked about how he's the favorite. I can't believe he's the favorite. I can't believe Luque's the underdog. But AJ, doesn't listen, I guess, even though he's right there.
But the thing, regardless, I mean, Kevin Holland is
regardless.
I think he'll take the win. So there you go, man. Fight, $20, 78 in return. I think that's going to be the winning card.
Vegas does too, because they're all favorites. All right, well, we'll find out Saturday night. When we have more action
Right,
for you here
give
on
it
the
to me.
Ringside Report Network, we will watch Money in the Bank. We will watch UFC 316 along with you, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Saturday. The whole crew will be here. And Angelo asked a question. 52 months, a member. Thank you, Angelo.
Angelo,
Asking us if we're still doing parlays.
Opa.
Yes, we are. We just did it. Hope you enjoyed the parlay, Angelo, for you. And I'll be back tomorrow night with Johnny North to preview WWE's Money in the Bank. We give you our Money in the Bank winners tomorrow night right here on the Ringside Report Network. I'm going to go play Nintendo.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time and have